Face remaining stock. After completing this video, you'll be able to use 2D Face to remove extra stock. In Fusion 360, let's carry on with our dataset from the previous example. In this video, we're going to take a next step from our 2D adaptive and finish facing the top of the part down to this round section on the top of our caliper. Now, it's important to consider the machine that we're machining on, because a difference in RPM and spindle horsepower are going to drastically affect which tools you might be able to use. In this example, we're going to take care of using a large shell mill, a 3-inch diameter shell mill, which can be used to face this entire part in a single pass. Keeping in mind that we only have the small round area that will be the very top of our part, we could carry on using a tool number 7, our 1/2-inch end mill, and use that to finish off this area as well with toolpaths like a 3D adaptive or even an additional 2D adaptive toolpath. But let's go ahead and navigate to our 2D dropdown, select face, and take a look at what we can do with a facing toolpath. The first thing that we want to do is navigate to our precision machining library and select tool number 6, the 3-inch diameter face mill. We're going to select this tool and navigate to our geometry. By default, it thinks that we still have material for the entire part. So we're going to use our geometry selection to use a silhouette selection, selecting just the outer loops and saying OK. Now it's going to restructure our stock contour, knowing that we only have this amount of material left to machine. We want to double check the heights to make sure that we are using the model top. And then inside of our passes, we're going to make sure that our step over value is large enough that we can do this in a single pass. The part is narrower than the shell mill, so I'm going to set this to 2.1 inches, which should allow us to do just a single pass. And I do want to toggle on multiple depths. While this shell mill can go as deep as 0.67 inches, that is going to be a lot of material as well as a lot of force trying to lift this part out of the soft jaw. So I'm going to do this in 0.3 inch increments and say OK. So this allows us to go down in a single pass, moving back and forth, and that will allow us to remove all that material from the part. While this isn't strictly required, again, because we have a relatively small face that we want to finish, the large shell mill will get this done in a single pass. If we were to use, for example, tool number 7, our 1/2-inch end mill, we would have to do this in multiple passes. It just has an overall effect on the surface finish and in some cases the tolerance or potentially just the quality of that surface by doing it with multiple passes. Neither option is right or wrong. It all depends on what you need out of your toolpaths. If the machine that you're using happens to have a limitation for the size or weight of the tool or potentially a horsepower limitation at the spindle, then you can carry on using the 1/2-inch end mill and simply use adaptive toolpaths to remove the rest of that material. At this point, let's make sure that we do save this before moving on to the next step.